Welcome back to the channel, fans. So today we have a special one for you. It's a press conference that Ruben Amorim did. It's the day before the game. It's Manchester United versus Liverpool. We'll be going to Anfield, and I can't see us taking 3 points in this game. I can't even see a draw being on the table. I want to give to you a presentation today as to the main takeaways from the press conference. I also want to look at the form of both teams. And then finally, we want to look into the predicted lineup, the lineup I believe that Ruben Amorim should present on the field, not the one that he chooses, because of late, Ruben Amorim seems to be getting the selection incorrectly. We saw that in the last match against Newcastle. He had to pull Xerxes on 30 minutes or 32 minutes, something like that. He had to pull Xerxes because the team was absolutely failing in the middle of the park because he had Casemiro and Eriksen being the two main players in the middle of the park. So, on my match prediction, this is what I believe Ruben Amorim should present against Liverpool in terms of the players being on the field. All right, so stick around. We're going straight into it. And like I said, you'll see the presentation being put on screen. All right. All right, then. So Ruben Amorim did the press conference, and the main takeaway or the main points from the press conference, Ruben Amorim was asked the following about his players, and Ruben Amorim said his players are anxious and sometimes afraid on the pitch. Now, this is evident based on what we're seeing, and also this is coming from Ruben Amorim is a bit concerning as well. I think it could be based on what he requires from them. I mean, it could also be that some of the players are just, they know themselves not to be of that level, and so they're anxious, as he clearly puts it, and it shows. It shows in the games. It shows in the games. Casemiro is one of those players who is guilty. Lisandro Martinez is another one. And so it really shows. He also said that we have to cope with that. We need the leaders to step up and to help the other players. And I'm the most responsible person here to improve the performances. I think what I'm getting from what Ruben Amorim is saying is that there are players in the squad who has the potential to be real leaders. Bruno Fernandes has not really shown us true leadership. He has gotten 3 red cards in the space of 4 months. And to me, any leader should show a level of resilience, should show a level of common sense and intelligence when it comes on to the game itself, in game, and how you manage your own minutes, and also how you motivate it acceptable. Bruno Fernandes is better than that. And Ruben Amorim is citing this. If you notice, he hasn't called any names, but clearly Ruben Amorim is pointing to Bruno Fernandes. He also said something about Harman getting to shortly, but that's what he's basically saying right here, that he needs leaders right now to step up and to demand more from themselves. He was asked also about the Rashford situation. You all know that Rashford has claimed that he needs a new challenge, and it's now looking imminent that Marcus Rashford may be on his way out. There are several reports coming in of links, but Rashford himself has come out and said definitively that he has not spoken to any club, nor is doing any negotiations with any club. So at the moment, he's calling the news fake news. All right. But Ruben Amorim was asked about the player, like I said, and this is what he said. He said the player is not trained due to illness and will be out this week. So don't look for Marcus Rashford to be on the bench for that trip to Anfield come Sunday. He won't be involved any at all. And this now, what? He has missed 5 games. And if he should not be involved in this one, which he will not be involved, that's going to be another one added to the amount of games. Now, I don't think even the naivety of any player, any pundit, any journalist, having seen this, a player missing 5 matches. Remember, for the last match, he was not injured. And now we're hearing that he's ill. So what is going on behind closed doors with Marcus Rashford and Manchester United. I think Ruben Amorim has axed the player. It is clear to me. If he's involved in the near future, then it will be a revelation. But for right now, I'm saying Marcus Rashford is a goner. And it's just now whether or not they can get him out of the club this January, or they will have to wait until the summer. You know, have been links with Saudi Arabia and some of the teams over there, but apparently Marcus Rashford is not interested in going to Saudi Arabia. Clearly, he's not in for the money. Marcus Rashford seemed to be doing things on his own term. Now, Ruben Amorim was also asked about Harry Maguire, and this is what he said about Harry Maguire. He needs to improve as a leader because we're starving for leaders on the pitch. He's a leader. He has to improve that part. He has to improve our game. Harry Maguire and Manchester United have come to an agreement. They have triggered his 1-year extension on his deal. So Harry Maguire signed for another year for Manchester United. The players improved somewhat. All right. Under Eric Ten Hag, you could have said that Harry Maguire was definitely going through the door. But for some reason, he has revived under Ruben Amorim. And I think that has to do with the formation, the 3-4-3 formation. Harry Maguire quite love to play in a back three. He thrives in a back three. That's what he was used to at Leicester when we bought the player for 80 million, I think, plus. And so he also played that system under England, for the England team under Gareth Southgate. So it's a system that works quite well for Harry Maguire. And Ruben Amorim have seen some improvement, and they have triggered a 1-year extension for the player. All right. So let us see what else we have based on the press conference that Ruben Amorim did. Pretty much, again, he was asked about transfers, and he's keeping a pretty close lid on that one. He's not giving away anything. He says that for right now, they want to do something in January, but he's not saying much on that. All right, we already know that there are links with Nuno Mendes, the PSG left back, and Manchester United. The player apparently has been stalled by his own club. He's not really featuring much, and Luis Enrique seemed to not be, preferencing the player and playing the player and so forth. And so it seems as if there's an open door now for the player to negotiate with other clubs, and Manchester United is one of those teams who are in for the speedy Portuguese. There's also a link to Manchester United with Anthony Robinson. The player is considered right now to be the best left back in the Premier League. He plays for Fulham. He's 27 years old. And so Liverpool were also in for the player, but apparently Liverpool have backed out for reasons that is not necessarily the profile player that they're looking for. They're more looking at Bournemouth left back in Kikes. He's a 21-year-old who is really lighting it up right now for Bournemouth. Bournemouth are doing decent in Premier League. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're probably 7, I think, wins now on the trot. Don't quote me on that. You can fact check me on that one. But Bournemouth is doing very well right now under Areola. And so Liverpool are interested in signing a player for the reason that Andy Robertson has seemed to be showing some level of decline right now. He's not an old player by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's also 27, but Liverpool are looking to the future, and they're looking at Kikes as a prime replacement for Andy Robertson. So I'll tell you right now, Manchester United over the years, we have seemed to be going for players who have age. If you look at the history, that's what we've been doing. We've been signing players who are either at their prime or just past their prime. And it has not necessarily served us very well. So I wouldn't be surprised should they go for Robinson, but I wouldn't want for them to necessarily sign that player. I know he's doing well right now, and beggars can't be choosers. And the fact that we're in a relegation battle at the moment, should we lose Liverpool? I think that's where we'll find ourselves. Very close to it. Ruben Amorim did make light of the fact that we are close to it. And he says that, listen, we have to just come to terms with reality. That this could very well be a moment in which we're no longer even thinking about top six. No, the argument is, can we survive relegation? That is what you say to a team who has just come up into the Premier League. Try and survive your first year. Try and survive your first season, and then we'll see what happens from there. Manchester United, the stature, the club that we all know was always made it, Champions League, title race, title charge, all these things, is now suddenly talking about surviving a relegation scare. So it's not looking good. And I tell you, the signings, they need to happen fast. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Ruben Amorim, Manchester United need signings in this window right now. If we don't make any signings right now, I tell you, meaningful signings, not just numbers now and players to fill the squad, but meaningful signing, I can tell you. Championship, playing in the championship is not a far gone conclusion. So we must sign. All right. So that's what Ruben Amorim was pressed on in the press conference, and those were the main takeaways. Now we want to take a look at the form guide. The form guide right now is not looking good for Manchester United. It's looking absolutely splendid for Liverpool. Liverpool in the last 4 games have done fairly well. 2-1, as you can see on your screen. 2-1, the beat Southampton. It was 6-3 in that 9 games. Now, Liverpool are in the astonishing. And if you converse that with Manchester United right now, it's not looking good. Because the last 3 games, we have not scored any goals. Okay? We have not scored any goals in the last 3 games. We have lost 4 on the spin. And it is not beyond the realms of possibility that we'll lose another one against Liverpool come Sunday. But if you look at our record right now, it's not looking good. We lost 4-3 to Spurs. We lost 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. We went to Wolves, lost 2-0. That's the match in which Bruno Fernandes was red carded. And then we lost 2-0 at home to Newcastle, who absolutely dominated the midfield and destroyed us. Joelinton, Isaac, and Anthony Gordon, they all did damage. Real damage. And so it's not looking good right now for Manchester United. This form guide, if it is anything to go by, it tells us that Manchester United going to Anfield have no chance of winning this game. And this is what I'm saying. Manchester United will inevitably lose to Liverpool. I can't see them winning this match, even if I'm being optimistic. Listen, I would have to go over the mineral, go take a wash off. Because right now, with salt, bad. And the salt of Manchester United just seems to the rubber for me. So right now, it's not looking good. But we have to try. And that's what Ruben Amorim has said as well. You know, in these moments, it's difficult. But he kept saying that, listen, Liverpool are league leaders right now. But on the day, they can be beaten. That's what he was basically saying in his press conference. Liverpool can be beaten. All we have to do is to focus on the performance and to take it from there. That's what he said. But, hey, listen, you can't say anything else. At the moment, Ruben Amorim's hands are tied. I believe in him as a manager. I believe that he'll get it right. I 100% believe that he'll get it right. But we have to get transfers in. It's going to take, I think, 2 or 3 seasons, proper seasons of decent transfer targets in order to get Manchester United back to levels. Because right now, we're completely washed. If you ask me for my honest opinion, we're completely washed. I can't give you 5 players right now on one hand that I believe we can really move forward with in this squad. I can't, not even the goalkeeper. Not even the goalkeeper. So right now, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. So let us just go straight into the lineup. All right, the predicted lineup. This is how I think Ruben Amorim should set up the squad. He'll do what he wants to do because he's a coach. But so far, what I've seen is that he's making the wrong decisions. I know he said that every time he puts a team out there, it's a winning team. But so far, what has happened is that every time he puts a team out there, he has to be cleaning up what he has done before. And so the last match was prime example with Xerxes having been substituted half an hour into the match. he made a mistake in having Casemiro and Ericsson in the middle of the park. Two Bugs Life kind of players. You know, in their prime, decent players, but they have absolutely slowed down and they can't do anything about it. When your body call, okay? And so at the moment, the legs are going and I don't see them being future players for the club. I think they'll go possibly before summer or even come the summer, but I can't see Manchester United carry on with these two players come next season. All right. So this should be the lineup that Ruben Amorim should select. If Ruben Amorim makes this selection, then we have every chance of beating Liverpool and at the very least drawing and taking a point away from Anfield. Something that in the last four matches, no team has managed to have done. All right. So Andre Onana will start in goal. The back three will comprise of Lissandro Martinez, Delete, and Mazwari. Okay? Those are the players I want Ruben Amorim to put in the back three. And listen, the reason for this is that during the last game, we saw where Mazwari struggled against Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon had Mazwari in his pocket all the other week. And a goal came from that side. And Newcastle attacked that side frequently. So for me, Mazwari was sort of playing out of position. As a matter of fact, a lot of these players are being played out of position due to the change in the system. Okay, Mazwari is generally a right back sort of player, not a right wing back player. It takes a lot out of you. And that's the position that he was being deployed in during that game against Newcastle. So I want for Ruben Amorim to put Mazwari back at right centre back. Between Maguire and Martinez, it's going to be a struggle as to who he decides to start. I don't think he'll start Maguire. He shouldn't start Maguire, but it's going to be his problem for him to solve, as has always been the case. So the question is, would you prefer to have Maguire or Lissandro Martinez in the back three? Would you prefer to have Maguire's strength and his height, or would you prefer to have Martinez's speed and his aggression? Like I said, it's Ruben Amorim's problem, and that's what he will have to solve. For me, I know Martinez did not have a good game against Newcastle. He had a terrible game. But when you come up against a team like Liverpool, though they have Van Dijk and Konate, those players usually dominate from corner kick situations. Okay? We didn't concede from a corner this time, even though we did concede from aerial threat. We didn't concede from a corner. And so what I'm looking at right now is I'm worried more about the speed and the trickery of the Liverpool players, tearing down the wings, cutting inside and finishing. And so I would want to have Lissandro Martinez on the left side, sort of trying to mitigate the threat of Mohamed Salah. Okay? Now, in the midfield, we're having Kobe Manu and Ugarte. I would want those two players coming in for Casemiro and Ericsson, who, like I said, were poor against Newcastle in that 2-0 defeat at Old Trafford. All right? Kobe Manu and Ugarte, those two players will offer more legs and energy in the middle of the park, and that will give us at least an opportunity to mitigate the threat coming from Liverpool. Anfield will be crazy. Y'all know that. The fans will absolutely be behind the Liverpool players. It's going to be 12 men. It's going to be 12 men. We can't afford to go down 10. Not in this situation. We have seen, like I said, I tell you already how much goals Liverpool have dropped in the last 3 games. Our objective in this match should be to be solid defensively and to man mark as tightly as possible in order not to give up free spaces in which they can absolutely hurt us. Okay? So, in addition to that, of course, as you know, Kobe Manu, he came in for Xerxes in that match against Newcastle, and the game absolutely changed after half an hour. Okay, so that's the reason why I want to have Kobe Manu in the middle of the park. I wouldn't want Bruno Fernandes to be in the middle of the park. You already know why. He got a red card last time. Coming up against a high energy Liverpool team, Bruno Fernandes easily easily could pick up a red card in this game if he's not careful. Remember, the red card that he got was further up the pitch. He wasn't even anywhere near our box. So I don't want Bruno Fernandes anywhere in the midfield because at times he just is a bit overzealous, and I don't want for us to go down 10 men. Okay? Because listen, if you get a yellow card, that's it. The Liverpool players, they will prey on you to pick up another yellow card or even possibly red. So I don't want Bruno Fernandes in the middle of the park. I want Kobe Manu and Manuel Ugarte playing in the middle of the park. Okay? And so we move now to the front three. You already understand that for the wing backs, it's going to be Ahmad. It's going to be Ahmad on the right wing back and Diallo on the left. Okay, that should be standard. All right. I know Ruben Amorim has been playing Ahmad in the front three, but I don't think he'll play him in the front three this time. He will need Ahmad to support Mazwari with the threat coming from Gakpo, should Liverpool start Gakpo on the left side. All right, Mazwari, like I said, struggled in the right wing-back position last time around. Ahmad playing in front of Mazwari is, I believe, the better option. It gives him support and a lot more coverage defensively. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Ahmad right, Delot left. In the front three is pretty much easy, as you already know. The front three, we have Bruno on the right side, Rasmus Højlund being the striker, and I can see Garnacho coming in on the left side. All right, they're still playing Garnacho, and the speed is necessary. Yes, sometimes he's a bit careless with the football, but we need a player like Garnacho to start in this game. There's no Marcus Rashford, and I'm sure that Ruben Amorim will not be starting Xerxes. If Ruben Amorim starts Xerxes in this match, I would be livid. So Ruben Amorim, please do not start Xerxes. It makes no sense to start Xerxes. All right, the player already wants to leave. He was humiliated, and so he just wants to leave. I don't think his mentality right now is in the right space, so I wouldn't start him. Okay, and so I want Bruno Fernandes right, Rasmus Højlund in the center of the park, and off left we're playing Garnacho. Okay, remember Liverpool at Anfield will be no different. It will be no different. Garnacho should occupy the final spot, like I said, in the front three. And that's how I would set up this team to go and toe-to-toe with Liverpool. Prediction time. Liverpool 3, Manchester United 1. I can't see us winning the game. I'm sorry, I can't see it. I was trying to be optimistic, but I can't. And so that is how I believe Ruben Amorim should set up this team. That's how I would set up this team. And that is my final prediction. So I hope you all enjoy this video. And listen, I'll be back for the match reaction. Alright? Until then, people, don't something to say. I mean, I have not more to say. Thank you for watching the video. And I'm out.